The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
What's up, everybody? I'm Najee Adams.
And I'm Hunter Jacobs.
And you're listening to the Hoop Ball Nets podcast. So we're back with another episode. A lot has happened since we last recorded. So we have a lot to talk about today. Before we get to that, let's just get to the intro. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, everywhere that podcasts are. We usually are. Just look up Brooklyn Nets and we usually come up. Make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review on iTunes because it really helps us out and it doesn't take that long. It takes like maybe 15 seconds and it really helps us. So make sure you guys go do that. All reviews are getting read on the podcast. So speaking of them, we actually have 5 new ones, which is by far a record since we started this podcast. So let me get through them. The first one is by Dan B1580. Great report. Fun show. 5-star. Had a blast listening in. We'll keep doing so. I'm pretty sure that's Dan. If you listen to Hoop Ball, anything, you know who Dan is. So shout out to Dan. You make sure y'all go listen to his podcast, Fantasy NBA Today. You can look it up on iTunes. It has like 1,000 reviews, so it's great. The next one is by Miss Nell. I love this show. Also 5 stars. The hosts are incredible. I love listening to this podcast. I can't wait for the regular season to begin again so we can hear those game recaps again. Love y'all. A whole bunch of exclamation points. We love you too. Thank you for listening. We are hyped for the regular season too because the game recaps they're like a cheat for us because they give us something to talk about every time. We don't have to like think about things to talk about. And we honestly just like watching the games and doing them. So we can't wait either. The next one is by NBA Mama. It's titled Great Rapport. These guys are so much fun and I love listening to the shows. Thank you, NBA Mama. We appreciate it. The next one is by Nagura Ross. Amazing. Another 5-star. I love this show. The hosts have such good chemistry, and I truly believe it's the best Nets podcast out there. I really hope me and Hunter do have good chemistry. I feel like we do. So thank you for saying that, and thank you for loving the show. And once again, thank you for saying we're the best Nets podcast out there. And then the last one is entitled Littest B-Ball Podcast Ever, 5-star by Kate 201X. This podcast is the literal reason why I started following the Nets. I love the energy Najee gives off, as well as Hunter. They are so informative, real, and engaging. Don't sleep on these guys. They are fantastic. Probably my favorite review of all the reviews that we have so far because it just compliments us and says all these great things. So Kate, thank you. We appreciate everyone that leaves a review. So like I said, make sure y'all go leave one. And you can follow us on Twitter at HoopBallNets. You can follow me at Najee Adams _ on Twitter and Hunter at Hunter _ JKR. And yeah, that's everything. Make sure you go check out the other Hoop Ball podcasts. And shout out to Dash Radio because we just recently got added to their Nothing But Net station. So make sure you go check that out as well. You can download the Dash Radio app or look them up on Twitter at _radio. And so yeah, when you listen to the Nothing But Net station, you'll probably hear us sometime, so that's cool. So with all that out of the way, let's finally get in to what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to start it off with the Caris Levert extension. He got extended like right after our last episode, so we didn't get a chance to talk about it. But just to quickly go over it, Caris Levert, the man, the myth, the legend, the god, he did get extended on his 25th birthday because he is 25 years old. He got a 3-year, $52 million extension. And Zach Lowe reported that executives expected them to sign him to an even bigger deal. So I personally feel like if Caris Levert ends up panning out, this is a steal for the Nets.
The Nets have a habit of doing things in advance and wind up turning things into steals. Like getting D'Lo before he became a star, drafting Levert at 17, now signing him before he blows up. Signing Dinwiddie's extension before he really had the breakout part of his season. They just do a lot of things beforehand that turn out to work out in their favor.
Exactly. They signed him before he hit free agency because once he hit free agency, his value would have obviously inflated, as do most.
Example, Otto Porter, who got signed to a lucrative contract, and Levert is likely better than Otto Porter. So
Exactly. When they hit free agency, you really have to pay them like they're some type of superstar. And then you have to really commit to building around them. So not only are the Nets building around Levert, but they're also not paying him as if he was a perennial all-star,
I mean,
which
I'm
is
not going to
obviously
say
a
they're
steal.
building around him because for the length of time that they have him, they also have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
Yeah, let me rephrase it. Not building around, but he's a piece of their core. Like, he's an important piece to what they're trying to build.
They really just want Kyrie, Dinwiddie, Levert, DeAndre Jordan, and KD as their 5 locked-in pieces for the next 3+ years.
So when I looked at Caris Levert's deal, I obviously thought it was a steal. And the one that I compared it to, Malcolm Brogdon, who I personally believe that Caris
We
Levert...
had an extensive argument about this before.
Yeah, I personally believe that Caris Levert is better than Malcolm Brogdon. And he got a 4-year, $85 million contract from the Pacers.
So he can be better than him. Yes.
Malcolm Brogdon is 26, Caris is 25, for the record.
Malcolm Brogdon on the best record team in the NBA last season averaged 16 points and joined the 50-40-90 club that is full of pure Hall of Famers because he is a very efficient guard who also is known for his solid perimeter defense, and he honestly just plays the game better than Caris Levert right now.
Okay, so if you were an NBA GM and Caris Levert and Malcolm Brogdon came to your doorstep and said, sign me, you can only sign one of us, which one would you sign?
Malcolm Brogdon.
You're a fool. That's crazy.
It's not even a question today.
Insane.
Ask this question in a year and it might be a different answer.
You really think, you really signed Malcolm Brogdon over Caris Levert?
Yes.
That's
Malcolm Brogdon
wow.
is a good NBA player.
He is, but Caris Levert's a better NBA player.
Until he proves that he can be that version of himself for an entire season, no.
Yes, actually. Yes. Because I just...
No. He was only that version of himself for that beginning stretch of the season, and then
he got
the playoff series.
He got injured, and he was the Nets' best player in the playoffs.
For that series, yes.
The only series that they had, maybe? Yes.
I know. I'm saying that's one series. That's 6 games. I want him to do it for all of next season, and I'll revisit this question in a year. But if I'm signing someone today that I'm confident will be more of a lock to be good, I'm picking Brogdon.
You're a fool. So can we make a bet?
I guess. Like, what is this based on? Because let's say Levert averages 18 but shoots 42%. And then Brogdon averages 15 but shoots 56%. I think Brogdon has a better
56%? Malcolm Brogdon?
I'm just saying. Last year he shot 51% and
okay, 42. No guard shoots 56%. Okay, but let's base it. Let's make a bet that by the end of the season.
What though? That's what I'm saying.
The end of the season next year. I don't want to say they have a better season because that's subjective, but I don't want to say scores more points.
Because Levert can score more and still have a worse season.
Let's see. But you know when someone has a better season. Like, there's...
You don't because we argued for multiple hours about whose season was better between Steph Curry unanimous MVP and Russell Westbrook's triple-double. Okay. I'm on the side of Steph Curry unanimous MVP.
I was on the side of Russell Westbrook. I have since joined the side of Steph Curry. But let me just say, in that argument,
friendship over
in that argument, I convinced everyone in that room that I was right. That's all I want to say. So technically, I feel like I won the argument. But
okay, you can win an argument and still be wrong.
I definitely won. I was definitely.
You that the sky's actually a shade of green. And oh, you know what? It actually is a hint of green. No, it's not. It's blue.
I was most definitely wrong. I'm willing to admit that. But I just want to say that I was spitting such pure facts that everyone in that room believed me.
You were not spitting facts.
Yes, I was. Okay, but moving on. I want to say that I feel like the contract for Levert was obviously a steal for the Nets, and I feel like he probably could have requested more money, or he could have waited till free agency to get more money, but that's not guaranteed with Levert because let's say he got injured this season again because he's obviously injury prone. His value would have significantly dropped, so that's why he took the $50 million guaranteed. And yeah, let's move on. So Joe Harris is obviously playing in Team USA. They're in the FIBA World Cup. They are currently 4-0. Through the first 4 games of the event, he's averaging 8.3 points and 5.5 rebounds in 20 minutes per game. And the 20 minutes is the 5th most on the team. It's ahead of players like Miles Turner, Jaylen Brown, and Chris Middleton.
And he's really only behind Kemba Walker, Harrison Barnes, Jason Tatum, but that's skewed because he's out now. So he's playing one of the highest minutes on the team. And there was a game, the overtime game against Turkey, where they won by 1, where Joe Harris was in a lineup as a big man.
Yep.
Him at the end of the game, the crunch time lineup as their power forward center.
Yeah, because Pop seems to be playing a lot of small ball right now. Just because who do they really have? What, Brooke Lopez and Mason Plumlee, or is it Miles? It's definitely Mason, right? Yeah, Brooke Lopez and Mason Plumlee. I'd rather have Joe Harris out there at center too, to be honest. Also, I feel like it throws the international teams off because it's not traditional basketball. So, but yeah, they're playing a lot of small ball. And Joe Harris is still shooting 54.5% from the field, which is the highest on the team. And
he is an extremely efficient player, for the record.
Exactly. He's shooting 58.3% from 3, which is also the highest on the team. So he's their most efficient player. He's playing more of a role on Team USA than I feel like most people thought. And I feel like Joe Harris is a Popovich kind of player. Like, I can easily see him on the Spurs, being a player that Popovich loves, but he just so happens to be on the other black and gray team, the Nets. Is Donovan Mitchell playing the most minutes?
Yes. Popovich wanted to make Donovan Mitchell the captain of the team and entrust the leadership duty in him to try and grow him as a player, which, I mean, they're 4-0, so I guess you could say it's working, but they're playing a lot worse than Team USA typically does. Put it that way.
Yeah. I still feel like they just beat Giannis and Greece today, but they're shooting really bad from 3. Joe Harris is really carrying the load.
He's like the only person shooting well from 3, to be honest.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was definitely like below 35% from 3 as a team.
They're shooting 32.8% as a team.
32.8% from 3 as a team.
The only other
That's
person
horrible.
shooting the ball above the league average is Kemba, who's shooting 40% from 3.
So yeah, they really need to pick that up, or they might be in danger of losing. But to be completely honest, I don't think anyone thinks that Team USA is not going to win the FIBA World Cup. So
right now, the worst player on the team, the worst
Mason
player
Plumlee.
that you'd expect to be good on the team is definitely Chris Middleton.
What is he averaging?
He's averaging 9 points in 19.5 minutes. He's shooting 38% and 31% from 3.
Yeah, see, remember when people said remember he got chosen as an all-star above D'Angelo
And I said
Russell?
Bledsoe should have been picked over him. You remember that? Yes.
Yeah, and remember when he also got chosen over D'Angelo Russell? Crazy.
Yeah.
But now we're going to throw it back because a couple episodes ago, I don't know if y'all listened or if y'all remember, but if not, make sure you go check out that episode. Actually, there's no point anymore because the actual 2K ratings are out. So a while ago, me and Hunter predicted what we thought the Nets 2K ratings were going to be, 2K20 ratings were going to be based on like their previous ratings, how they did it in the season, what happened in the offseason, what they think they're going to be this year. And 2K20 is actually out now. So we're just going to go and see how much we got right, how much we got wrong, starting with Caris Levert. So what is Caris's overall in 2K?
78.
Caris's overall in 2K is 70.
As you know, I'm not as big of a Levert fan as Najee. I do think he's a good player, to be honest.
What's Malcolm Brogdon's overall?
I believe Najee highly overrates Caris, but I do think he's a good player, for the record. Because I know I got crucified last season for how poorly I spoke of Jared Allen and Dudley.
We both did.
Yes.
Dudley really came around. But do you know what Malcolm Brogdon's overall is? Because I'd love to know.
I'll find out for you right now. 83. In case you wanted to know. It's an 83.
Okay, well, 2K ratings aren't always
83.
2K ratings aren't always indicative of who's actually better as a player. Let's just put that out there. So, Caris
better.
Caris is a 78.
5.
On the podcast, Hunter predicted him to be an 80. I predicted
In case
him.
you wanted to know, 83 is the same as Danilo Gallinari, Julius Randle, Lowry Markkanen, Bagley, Montrezl Harrell, and Kevin Love.
Okay, what does that mean
and
to me?
78 is it's not even top 100, so I couldn't even tell you.
What does that mean to me? What does it mean?
Brogdon is better.
No. So Caris is 78. Hunter predicted him to be an 80. I predicted an 81. So we were both very wrong.
And I would like to add in, there was a sentence Najee said that was exactly as high as 84, but no lower than 80.
Okay. I clearly have high hopes for Caris Levert, as all the Nets fans probably listening to this do. So I'm a man of the people.
84 would put him with John Collins, Kuzma, Lou Will, Jamal Murray, and Buddy Hield.
Yeah, he's on that level as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, come on.
So moving on to Spencer. Moving on to Spencer Dinwiddie. What is his 2K rating?
An 82.
Oh, Spencer Dinwiddie's an 82. Hunter predicted he'd be an 81. I predicted, right on the money, of course, an 82.
In fact, in case you wanted to know, this is one of 2 or 3 that Najee got right. And he was horribly wrong on quite many of them.
But this is one that I was horribly right on. So 82, we predicted Spencer Dinwiddie right. Joe Harris, what is Joe Harris?
78, and I'm the one who said it first, and you copied me, so I guess that means I'm right.
Doesn't matter who said it first. The only thing that matters is me and Hunter both said 78 for Joe Harris, so we were right on the money with that one. Next is DeAndre Jordan, who is in 2K20.
He is an 80. What?
He's an 80?
No, he's an 82.
He's an 82. So in 2K20, DeAndre Jordan is an 82. Hunter and I both predicted him to be 80, so we were 2 off. I still feel like he should be an 80. I don't think DeAndre Jordan should be an 82 in 2K, but moving on.
He's an 81. Sorry.
80, it's fine. 81. We were 1 off. He'll probably be an 80 by the end of the season, to be honest. So Jared Allen. What is Jared Allen's
79.
overall?
That one is crazy.
79 for Jared Allen. Me and Hunter both said 82. I think that Jared Allen is criminally underrated in 2K.
They have his dunk at a 75.
His standing dunk?
Just his dunk rating on the website. It says 75.
Got you.
Yet DeAndre Jordan's is 92.
Yeah, okay.
You know who else's dunk is a 75? Taurean Prince.
Okay, so might as well move on to him. What is Taurean Prince?
A 77.
Hunter predicted a 76. I predicted a 78. So we were both 1 off. Me 1 in front. Hunter 1 behind. He is a 77. But I think we're getting them well within the range. We're only 2 or 3 off.
I can't wait for this one.
We're only 2 or 3 off on each one.
Rodions Kurucs.
What is he?
75.
And we predicted 75.
I know.
Boom.
But I said it first again.
Okay. And then Garrett Temple, what is he?
73.
Hunter predicted 74. Me, of course, the 2K god that I am, predicted 73.
All right, then let's go to Nick Claxton.
We'll get there when we get there. Theo Pinson is actually next up.
And I got that right.
We both said 69, and he is indeed a 69.
Whoa. You said 69?
Yeah, I said 69.
Okay.
I definitely said 69.
All right, Janan Musa.
Janan Musa is a, what is he? He is
71.
He's a 71? Okay, perfect. Because I predicted 69. Hunter predicted 70, so I was 2 off. Hunter was 1 off.
I was 1 off. I'm closer. Thanks.
Okay, still wrong. Still wrong, buddy. Still wrong. And then let's go to David and Waba. What is his overall
73.
2K? Hunter predicted a 72. I predicted a 71. Hunter was 1 closer, but like I said, we're still getting in the range of things. We're still right there with 2K. Next is Wilson Chandler, who we'll get to in like a couple seconds, actually. Wilson Chandler is a what in 2K20?
75.
Hunter said 73. I said 74. Ha ha ha. Who's closer? It's me. Moving on to Henry Ellington, who is a 69.
Wow, you're really putting off Nick Claxton, thinking I'm going to forget.
Who's a 69? Henry Ellington. Boom. We both said 69. So with that, that concludes all the 2K.
No. So let's move to Nick Claxton. And I'll do this one myself. I don't even need this.
I was going to talk about Wilson Chandler. I think the people want to know more so about...
Nick Claxton is a 72 in 2K, right? I said 71. I was only 1 off. This man, Najee, starts his thing off saying, 65. 65. 60. How are you going to give a first-round pick 65? That's insane. So I said that in the last episode, and he's like, you're right. I'll go a flat 70. Still wrong. But at least I convinced you to bring it closer.
Hey, I didn't think... Nicholas Claxton's a second-round pick,
you didn't
buddy.
Think. You didn't think.
I didn't think that they would make a second-round pick 72. But obviously, 2K's high on Nicholas Claxton. I mean, I'm high on him, too. I just don't think...
The first pick of the second round is what he was. And that deserves a 72. He's not bad.
I don't think he's bad either. I don't. I just don't know if he's 72 worthy.
65?
But...
That's lower than Dang Adele.
What is Dang Adele?
A 67.
Oh, good for him. Good for Dang. So moving on to Wilson Chandler. If you didn't know, it really came out of nowhere. Woj just tweeted out of nowhere. Boom, dropped a bomb. Wilson Chandler is suspended for 25 games because he tested positive for a drug I don't know how to pronounce, but I'll try. Ipamorelin, something like that.
It's Ipamorelin, but I don't know.
Wow, that's probably, you're just a genius because that's probably right. Ipamorelin, we're going to go with that one. It's some sort of PED. Bobby Marks says the suspension will begin after the Nets' 5th game on November 1st, after which the Nets can add a 16th player for the next 25 games ending December 15th, and at that point, the Nets will have to waive a player to get back to 15. It could be Chandler or the player they sign or another player. So Wilson Chandler released a statement. He said basically apologized to the Nets, the organization, the fans, the front office, the NBA. He said he didn't realize that the substance, please pronounce it.
Ipamorelin
was he didn't realize that Ipamorelin was banned, and neither did his doctor. And I feel like that's what happens in a lot of these cases.
Yes, that is the claim a lot of the time. Whether it's true or not, no one knows, but that is often the claim that they don't know.
I would be personally, I would be mad at my doctor. Like, I feel like that's your job.
If the story is true.
True. I feel like it's the doctor's job to know what's banned and what's not banned, so you can control what I'm putting into my body, but whatever. Especially if I'm paying you the amount of money that Wilson Chandler's probably paying his doctor, I would want you to know what's banned and what's not banned. But with that being said, the Nets are obviously having a lot of trouble when it comes to wings and forwards on their roster.
Do you think with Chandler's suspension, they should add Melo or Joe Johnson?
Melo, I feel like they're going to add somebody because they're missing Rodions Kurucs possibly, which we'll get to later, Wilson Chandler, and obviously KD. I don't know if it'll be Melo or Joe Johnson, but if I had to choose one of them, I would choose Melo, to be completely honest. I don't know. I just feel like Melo's Melo. I want Melo to have a chance to get some type of championship. He already has ties to New York, KD, Kyrie, Brooklyn, DeAndre Jordan. Apparently, KD and Kyrie were pushing for the Nets front office to sign him. He said himself he's not done with basketball. He's still passionate. And all of the workout videos I've seen, he's been nice, but obviously that's an empty gem most of the time. But he was playing against Julius Randle in a video I saw. He was cooking him. But there's that, and obviously, honestly, Melo knows that it's his last straw. If this doesn't work, he's got no other option. So I feel like he'll be on his best behavior. Kind of like Antonio Brown with the Patriots.
He knows that.
I feel like he does, because if he didn't know before, he definitely knows it now, considering
in reality, the last time Melo came out was him saying, I won't be a bench player.
I feel like he's been not on an NBA roster for so long. See, before, I feel like he didn't know it because he probably thought to himself, I'm Carmelo Anthony. Like, someone's going to sign me. It doesn't matter if the Rockets cut me. I'm going to get signed. And now he sees that you being Carmelo Anthony in 2019 doesn't mean anything. So I feel like that was probably a reality shock for him. And he seemed like it was when he talked to Stephen A. Smith in that interview. So I feel like he would know, like, if this doesn't work, your NBA career is over. So you better do everything you have. And give everything you have and do everything you can to make sure that this works.
So you think they should sign Melo?
I don't think they should sign Melo. I think if they were signing Joe Johnson or Melo, if those are my two choices, I'd sign Joe Johnson. I mean, no, I'm completely lying. I'd sign Melo. But you think they should sign Joe Johnson.
So, yeah, if you had to pick between the two, you're picking Melo?
I'm picking Melo.
But you don't think they should sign either of them?
No.
Who do you think they should sign?
I don't know. I feel like someone like Iman Shumpert would be cool, even though he's not a wing. Well, he is a wing. He can guard the 1, the 2, and the 3. I feel like Iman Shumpert would be a better signing for either one of them. I mean, over either one of them. But I feel like Iman Shumpert is not too focused on basketball right now. So, but if I had to pick someone, I'd probably pick him.
I mean, there's still Jamal Crawford and J.R. Smith too.
Yeah, but at least Iman Shumpert plays some type of defense, and he's a decent shooter. He's a 3-and-D type of player, obviously. And I don't think he doesn't have like a big ego. With JR, you got to worry about ego, Melo, ego. J.R. Smith, definitely ego. Jamal Crawford, ego. I said J.R. Smith twice, but there we go. Double the ego.
Now I'll explain why I think they should sign Joe Johnson. Aside from, the return, the legacy standpoint, he was with the Nets before. He is more of a misunderstood player than people think. They think because he didn't play in the postseason with the Rockets that it's because he was bad and that his career's over. He honestly was not given a chance on that team. He didn't have a role on that team. And then once he proved that he still can play in the Big Three, now he'll get interest, and he'll return to the league, whether it's with the Nets or someone else. I think he'll probably end up on a team like the Pistons, to be honest. But if it was between Melo and Joe Johnson also is willing to take a decreased role. He just wants some minutes. He just wants to play. And
I feel like Melo would take a decreased role too.
I really don't know. Last we heard of him, he wanted to start.
I mean, I feel like every NBA player wants to start, but if push comes to shove, and KD
he said that he's not playing if he's coming off the bench. That's the last time.
That's a lie. I feel like if KD and Kyrie said to him, "Yo, we'll sign you, but you're gonna have to come off the bench," he'd be like, "Okay, sign me up."
You'd think that would be the same thing for Russ and Paul George, right?
I mean, that was a different Melo.
Or Chris Paul and Harden, right?
Also, a different Melo.
But how do you know it's a different Melo?
Because,
he hasn't even spoken about it.
Because back then, he wasn't dropped from the league for almost a year. He wasn't completely done dirty by Houston. And he's in a different mindset, I feel like. When he talked to Stephen A. Smith on that ESPN exclusive, he seemed like he was ready to accept a decreased role. He was ready to just play basketball again. And I feel like that's really all he wants to do. He just wants to play in the NBA.
I'd still rather sign Joe Johnson if I'm the Nets. I mean, I don't think they're going to sign any of the people we've said, in all honesty.
So who do
They
you think
might
they
just wind
sign?
up signing an undrafted free agent. But if they do sign someone, I think it should be Joe Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson. Everyone is the hype around Joe Johnson is real right now because of his Big Three performance. He was the Big Three MVP. He hit a game. He hit the game winner in the chip right in front of LeBron. He's worked out for the Nets, 76ers, Pistons, and Bucks, and he averaged 21.9 and 3.9 assists, both of which led the league in the Big Three. Shot 48.5% from the field and 39% from three. So Joe Johnson obviously still has it in some capacity. Would that translate to the NBA? Obviously not, but he's still got some in the tank. So another reason why the Nets are short at wing and Joe Johnson and Melo are options even to begin with is Rodions Kurucs. He was arrested for allegedly assaulting his girlfriend on the night of June 27th. He apparently also slapped her twice, which got him charged with a misdemeanor. And he also allegedly threatened to kill himself. So if that is true, prayers to Rodions Kurucs, because that's never great to hear. He was released from bail. He was released from jail without bail. And his next hearing is scheduled for October 21st, which is 2 days before the Nets' home opener at the Barclays. His lawyer is seeking the charges be dismissed, and he called them bogus. And if he was to be found guilty, he'd obviously be suspended by the league until his case. I honestly believe that he won't be playing for the Nets until his case is resolved, because I doubt the Nets or the NBA would want that type of publicity and him playing and the type of message that sends to fans and all of that. I don't think they would want that out. So I really do believe he'll be suspended until this whole case is cleared up. But yeah, Rodions Kurucs, not his outlook for next season is not looking too hot right now. And with that being said, we're gonna go to a lighter topic at that. Kevin Durant, he did comment on the state of the Nets, and it gave some optimism for not only his future, but what he thinks about the young Nets core. He said, "I'm excited about this group." He told Chris Henderson on YouTube. He said, "Obviously, with me not starting off the season being injured, you're going to see a lot of guys step up, do some things, and go to another level as a player." So
So in the ideal world, do you see it the same way as me that KD sits out until March or whenever we said? The
I think I
Nets
said
are
March 2nd or something like that.
the Nets are a lower middle seed, as in like 6 or 7, and they end up around 6 so that they have an easier path to the playoffs, through the playoffs, and then KD brings them to the finals.
I am of that same mindset, and I think it's big, even though it might be being overlooked by some people. I think it's big that he did say, obviously, with me not starting off the season, and not something like they don't have me for this season, so we'll see
Because
what happens next
people
year.
are saying it's Bucks, Sixers, Celtics. Like, people are saying, oh, the Nets are good, but you got to wait for KD to come back.
I think
KD
that
might be back when it matters,
I
and they're
think
going to be a playoff team without him.
I think
So
that KD is of the mindset that he is playing this season. And I think he wants to play this season. I think he wants to prove to people that, because he's a lot of the time labeled as soft. So I feel like he wants to prove to people, like, I tore my Achilles in April, May, June, and I'm back in March, not even a whole year. So I feel like he will play this season. I feel like he thinks he's going to play this season. Obviously, by him saying that they're not starting off the season, he's not ruling out him not coming back. So I think that's great. And he also went on to say that he was asked, who do you think is going to step up the most? And he said Caris, Joe Harris, wow, that rhymed, Taurean Prince, even the older guys like Garrett Temple, Kyrie, DeAndre Jordan. He said, I feel like everybody in this environment is going to take a step up, especially due to circumstances with me not being available. I think everybody's going to step up and take it to the next level. We got a great coaching staff, a great front office, great fan base that's excited for something new. And he labeled it as a fresh start for everybody. And I feel like nothing but praise coming from KD. I feel like he's really bought in to this whole Nets Brooklyn thing. And
he's trying to redeem his reputation because of his Warriors decision, which I never really hated him.
Oh, I
Anyway,
despised KD.
I'm not in that boat because it was the best thing for his career. When he retires, his rank is way higher than it would have been had he stayed because he made the smart career decision.
Smart career decision, yes. Smart competitor decision, no. I just feel like you had them down 3-1, and you are partly the reason that you couldn't close it because you played like trash.
Hey, Jordan and Kobe are the only ones who stuck through it because in reality, LeBron did the same thing.
Hey, don't forget about my man Dirk.
Yes, I'm talking about the GOATs.
Yeah, I mean,
LeBron did the same thing. He left when it was getting.
No. It's different.
When and what
It's
did he
different.
do? He joined 2 All-Stars.
LeBron didn't go to the Celtics though. LeBron didn't go to the Spurs.
Say that he created a super team.
I don't think people have a problem. People don't have a problem with KD going to join a super team. They have a problem with him joining the Warriors, who he should have beat in the Western Conference Finals. That's the problem. Isn't him being on a super team. The problem is that he just went to the team that beat him instead of. He took the easy way out, is what most people criticize him for. I wouldn't have a problem if he would have went to like the Rockets with Harden, or even if he would have went to the Celtics. I wouldn't have a problem. But since he went to the team that beat him,
that would have been a step in front of the Nets right now, because we probably still would have done the Kyrie trade and we would have had Kyrie and KD
and Tatum.
Yeah, that's funny.
But yeah, no, I think this is way off topic. But if you guys wanted to know how I felt about KD going to the Warriors, I'm obviously not a big fan. But he's redeemed himself with me coming to the Nets. I feel like he's ready for something new. I feel like he's entering a new chapter in his career, and I feel like it's going to be maybe the best chapter in his career. We'll have to see. But
if he stays bought in,
he should. As long as nothing crazy goes down, he should stay. He should stay bought in. But with that being said, that is the end of the podcast. We hope you guys enjoyed. The season is we're about in like the mid to the late middle of the off season. We're getting close to regular season. Preseason is coming right up, and we'll be here to cover all of it. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Thank you all for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Go listen to us on Dash Radio, because this will probably be the first podcast that's really on it. You can look them up at Dash_radio, or just download the Dash Radio app and look up the Nothing But Net station. We'll be on there. Make sure you subscribe to us on iTunes with a 5-star rating and review. All reviews are getting read on the podcast. Follow us on Twitter at HoopBallNets. You can follow me on Twitter at NajeeAdams_. And you can follow Hunter on Twitter at Hunter_JKR. Shout out to Hawaiian House Kona Coffee Company for sponsoring this podcast and every other Hoopball podcast. You can find them at Hi Kona Coffee on Twitter. It's HIKONA Coffee. And then you can look them up on Amazon, buy their products on Amazon. Amazing. Me and Hunter have both tried them and we recommend them. And yeah, that'll do it for this episode. We'll see you all next time.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.